Chapter 49. And Yaakov called unto his sons, and said, Gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the end of days. Assemble yourselves, and hear, you sons of Yaakov, and hearken unto Israel your father. Reuben, you art my firstborn, my might, and the firstfruits of my strength, the excellency of dignity, and the excellency of power. Unstable as water, have not you the excellency? Because you wentest up to my father's bed, then defilest you it. He went up to my couch. Shimeon and Levi are brethren, weapons of violence, their kinship. Let my soul not come into your council, unto their assembly. Let my glory not be united. For in their anger they slew men, and in their self-will they hewed oxen. Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. I will divide them in Yaakov, and scatter them in Israel. Judah, you shall your brethren praise. Your hand shall be on the neck of your enemies, and your father's sons shall bow down before you. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, you art gone up. He stooped down, he couched as a lion and as a lioness. Who shall rouse him up? The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor the ruler's staff from between his feet. And as long as men come to Shiloh, and unto him shall the obedience of the peoples be. Binding his foal unto the vine, and his ass's colt unto the choice vine. He washed his garments in wine, his vesture in the blood of grapes. His eyes shall be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk. Zebulun shall dwell at the shore of the sea, and he shall be a shore for ships, and his flank shall be upon Zidon. Issachar is a large-boned ass, couching down between the sheepfolds. For he saw a resting place that it was good, and the land that it was pleasant. And he bowed his shoulder to bear, and became a servant under the taskwork. Dan shall judge his people, as one of the tribes of Israel. Dan shall be a serpent in the way, a horned snake in the path, that bites the horses' heels, so that the rider falleth backwards. I wait for your salvation, O Lord. Gad, a troop shall troop upon him, but he shall troop upon their heel. As for Asher, his bread shall be fat, and he shall yield royal dainties. Naphtali is a hind let loose, he gives goodly words. Joseph is a fruitful vine by a fountain. Its branches run over the wall. The archers have dealt bitterly with him, and shot at him, and hated him. But his bow abode firm, and the arms of his hands were made supple by the hands of the mighty one of Yaakov. From thence, from the shepherd, the stone of Israel, even by the God of your father, who shall help you, and by the Almighty, who shall bless you, with blessings of heaven above, blessings of the deep that coucheth beneath, blessings of the breasts and of the womb. The blessings of your father are mighty beyond the blessings of my progenitors. Unto the utmost bound of the everlasting hills they shall be on the head of Joseph, and on the crown of the head of the prince among his brethren. Benjamin is a wolf that raveneth. In the morning he devours the prey, and at evening he divides the spoil. All these are the 12 tribes of Israel, and this is that their father spoke unto them and blessed them. Every one according to his blessing he blessed them. And he charged them, and said unto them, I am to be gathered unto my people. Bury me with my fathers in the cave that is in the field of Ephron the Hittite, in the cave that is in the field of Machpelah, which is before Mamre, in the land of Canaan, which Abraham bought with the field from Ephron the Hittite, for a possession of a burying place. There they buried Abraham and Sarah, his wife. There they buried Ishiach and Rebekah, his wife, and there I buried Leah. The field and the cave that is therein, which was purchased from the children of Heth. And when Yaakov made an end of charging his sons, he gathered up his feet into the bed, and expired, and was gathered unto his people. All right, let's back up. Verse 1. continuing once again from the last chapter. We had Joseph went to see Israel. He went to see Yaakov. He is sick, and he took his two sons with him, Manasseh and Ephraim. And Yaakov had blessed them and blessed Joseph as well, but he had switched the blessing around from that which should go to the firstborn to the younger. And we'll find that this is not the only time things kind of get switched around, but this is to show things ain't always maybe the way that we think they're supposed to be. Anyway, the blessing had been switched around, and we're going to continue. And then, as well as that blessing being switched, Joseph received. That's the one that's going to add to a extra portion, that which was got from the emery. And we're going to pick it up now with Yaakov has called his sons together. Verse 1, and Yaakov called his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the end of days. And Yaakov called his sons, that's those that come forth from him, and these of a masculine. That's those that will carry on the Shem, or carry on that presence of Yaakov. He is the supplanter, or the one who takes charge of things that aren't necessarily his, or were given charge, as we see the Lord give him charge. And he calls his sons together, tells them to come together, that he may tell them what's going to happen to them. He says in the end of days, and the end of days is just simply as they go on through their life, the rest of their life, the understandings they should probably have come to. 2. Assemble yourselves and hear, you sons of Yaakov, and hearken unto Israel your father. Assemble yourselves together, bring yourselves together to form an assembly, and listen. All those ones that come forth from Yaakov, that's a supplanter. And listen unto Israel, that's the one who contends with the mighty one, and we'll find out with men as well. This is their father, the one they was born from. 3, Reuben, you art my firstborn, my might, and the firstfruits of my strength, the excellency of dignity and the excellency of power. And Reuben, that's one that's seen the sun, that's the firstborn, the one that come forth first. Was the might, the first fruits, or that one that was given all the strength right off the beginning. He was the excellency, the dignity, all the greatness of it, how it rises to that climax of giving forth everything from the beginning. 4, unstable as water, have not you the excellency, because you wentest up to your father's bed, then defilest you it. He went up to my couch. But unstable as water has got there's no firmness to it, to be wishy-washy, so to speak, in our thoughts, to not be stable. That you have no excellency. Your excellency was gone from you. Because you went out, you give up that position, you might say, when you went up to your father's bed, and that was to lie with the reflection of his understanding. Bilhah, and you defiled it. That's what you did. It was a disgrace, you might say, to go up to your father's couch and stretch yourself upon it. 5, Shimeon and Levi are brethren, weapons of violence, their kinship. Shimeon and Levi, Shimeon is the one heard, means heard, and Levi is the joiner, the joined. They are brethren. They are similar in their understandings. We could say that. They had one mother, Weapons of violence is their kinship. So the weapons is something that's used to not do good with. A weapon of violence is something, a terror, an evil, a wickedness. It's their kinship, or they're related to that as being weapons of violence. 6, let my soul not come into their council, unto their assembly. Let my glory not be united. For in their anger they slew men, and in their self-will they hewed oxen. And that's what they did when they slayed all those at Shechem. But let my soul not come into their council. I don't want to listen to anything they got to say. They will find could very well lead you off astray. Or unto their assembly, there where they gather together. Let my glory not be united. I ain't going to give up all my strength and power to be associated, we should say, with their understandings. For in their anger they slew men. They would even to kill, you might say, to slay men is simply to take their life from them. And in their self-will they hewed oxen. Oxen was those things that are given to pull, that do the tasks. The larger cattle, you might say, they could be used as in reference to priests. 7, cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. I will divide them in Yaakov and scatter them in Israel. But cursed be their anger. That's no good's going to come of it, for it was fierce. We'll find out they just flew off the handle. You might say, didn't think it over, didn't realize what the consequences would be. But it forced Yaakov and them up out of that land. Their wrath was cool. They took their anger out on Shechem. But I will divide them in Yaakov, and that will separate them in the supplanter, and scatter them in Israel. And to scatter them out means to take away that ability to join together. 8, Judah, you shall your brethren praise. Your hands shall be on the neck of your enemies. Your father's sons shall bow down before you. Judah are those of praisings. You shall be your brethren. You shall your brethren praise, and that's what they are. Those of praising that which they praise. Because they share those similar understandings, your works shall be on the neck. The neck is the place that supports the head. It kind of gives a witness to it. Of your enemies, we'll find out. That's where you would find them. And it makes it easy to find off. They just have the ability to choke off their enemies with a simple truth. Your father's sons shall bow down before you. They'll be humbled before you. That we'll find in the end. They have the scepter. Judah is a lion's whelp. 9. From the prey, my son, you art gone up. He stooped down. He couched as a lion, as a lioness. Who shall rouse him up? Once again, Judah is like a lion's whelp. Now that's the roar of a lion, showing mightiness, showing greatness. Those are praisings. From the prey, my son. That's to show where he's coming from. To show he's coming from the prey their way. Coming up off the prey means that it's done. You are gone up. This is because now he has, it is a similitude to conquering. He stooped down. He couched as a lion, and that's to prepare. It's in as a wait, laying in wait. He was waiting for the action that would lead to that. And as a lioness, this here is really as a lion, not in the roar, but like in the mightiness of the silence that a lioness uses to hunt her prey, as just before the kill, who shall rouse him up. And as a young lion going forth, just slain, coming up off one prey, going right to the next, couching down, ready to spring. 10. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor the ruler's staff from between his feet, as long as men come to Shiloh, and unto him shall the obedience of the peoples be. The scepter is the rule. That's what gives you the power, the authority to be over, you might say, shall not depart from Judah. Those are preludes. Nor the ruler's staff from between his feet. In other words, he's kind of going to be the one that's over everything. You could say the king, as we'll find that that's exactly where the king comes from. But it won't depart from his feet. Feet's what you go on. That's your path. That's what's going to lead you around. We'll find out even these laws that men give. As long as men come to Shiloh. Shiloh means that restful place, that you're content as long as you come to peace or you try to live in happiness or harmony. We'll find out, because there's always somebody else that's ready to come down and tear up your little happy village. Unto him shall be the obedience of peoples. In other words, people will be stuck at his mercy, you might say, for their own good. 11. Binding his foal unto the vine, his ass's colt up to the choicest vine. He washed his garments in wine, his vesture in the blood of grapes. Binding his foal unto the vine. A foal is the offspring of an ass, his ass's colt. That's exactly what it is. The masculine, we'll find out it's a young colt. One that hasn't fully been trained, you might say. But he binds it to the choicest vine. In other words, he's going, and that's a similitude. That's where it's going to be trained at that vine, that which brings forth the fruit. He washed his garments in wine. That's from the grape. The wine here, the wash his garments is you not going to make them clean this way. We'll find it would be to stain them or to give them color, give them some kind of appearance, that which he wears in wine, or that kind of gives off the effects of wine. His vesture in the blood of grapes, that's blood is that which represents kind of like the life of the grape. It's the juice within it. It's the moistness within it. It's the which kind of gives it. It's makes it, you might say, the grape. But once again, that's to kind of learn from your mistakes, in a sense, to the fact that people basically is what they do is to create that rule according to the mistakes that are made by men. 12. His eyes shall be red with wine, his teeth white with milk. His eyes shall be red with wine. Red is to show the blood. His appearance, that his perceptions, these things which he sees, if we looked at the way he looks at things, we'll find out they're red with the wine. They give off we can see that blood, you might say, that which gives the life in it. That's the sin, basically. With wine, those effects that comes from it. His teeth are white with milk. His teeth are white. Now, we can look at that as being made clean, but they are white. They're healthy because of his fatness. 13. Zebulun shall dwell at the shore of the sea, and he shall be a shore of ships. His flank shall be upon Sidon. Zebulun is this one that habitates, or this dwells there at the seashore. Seashores where the ships come in, the place of the shore for ships. That's to give them place to land. Ships are those that are carrying something upon the waters. And his flank His flank, that's his open side, shall be upon Zidon. Zidon is the place of fishermen, fishers, that those that hunt for the life in the water. 14. Souls of men. 14. Issachar is a large boned ass couching down between the sheepfolds. Issachar, that's the one that carries the reward. He's like a large boned ass. To be great, and within the inner essence, you might say, helps to support being used for an ass, one that carries that burden. He's bringing a reward. He's couching down between the sheepfolds. That's because we'll find he found rest there. Kind of like a little guardian, or one that's strong. 15. For he saw a resting place that was good, and the land that it was pleasant, and he bowed his shoulder to bear, and became a servant under task work. He saw the resting place, that it was good, and that's pretty well easy to understand. He perceived that place there in the flock, we'll say. He seen the land was pleasant. He bowed his shoulder to bear. He bent down to carry the load, you might say, to take up that task, to do the job, to take up that position, a servant under the task work. And we'll just, that's one that will stay in that duty. 16. Dan shall judge his people as one of the tribes of Israel. And Dan means judge. He shall judge his people. To judge the people, we'll find as one of the tribes of Israel. Dan was the son of Bilhah, and we'll find out Dan always was kind of outside the rest of the tribes, in other words, but this to judge the people is really more like to represent this judgment that's on the people, just like one of these tribes of Israel, those that contend with the mighty one. 17. Dan shall be a serpent in the way, a horned snake in the path, that bites the horse's heel so that the rider falls backwards. And Dan shall be, or this judgment, basically, shall be like a serpent in the way, one that crawls on the dust, one that basically kind of lives in the flesh. This here is a horned snake, one that's got some strength. He made, in the fact that he has something exalted in his understanding. He's got a little knowledge, in other words, that he knows what he's doing. He bites the horse's heels. Horses are something that's got strength, a form of great power that the Lord gives, and there's people that sit on these horses. They got the bridles in their hand, and they think they are in control of these bridles. We'll find out the horse, of course, the Lord that created the horse is always in control, and he bites at these heels of these horses. That's where they put their feet on the ground, and that's what they're going on. And the rider falls backwards. He is thrown from that great strength that he thought he was in control of. 18. I wait for your salvation, O Lord. 19. Gad, a troop shall troop upon him, but he shall troop upon their heel. Gad means a troop. A troop is like an army that marches. They shall, or as an army marching to invade, and that's what a troop is. A troop, an invasion, shall invade him. Well, that's ebb and flow there, we find out. But he shall troop upon their heel, and to march upon their heel. The heel's what strikes the ground first when you're walking. He heels that part of the foot. When you lift it up, it's behind you. Even though you put it down before you, it's going to wind up. It comes off the ground from behind you. It kind of represents that in the end. 20. As for Asher, his bread shall be fat. He shall yield royal dainties. Asher. Asher means progress. Easy understanding of it. It means a step. A step up, a step forward. At the same time, it's like kind of going up a set of steps. Is bread. That's that which he nourishes with. Even for the flesh. Shall be fat. It shall be rich. It's got some substance to it. He shall yield royal dainties. And that's like a little sweet cake for the king, you might say. Something good to pleasant, sweet, fit for a king, to make you fat, to give you something to grow on. 21. Naphtali is a hind let loose. He gives goodly words. Naphtali means to wrestle or to twist it up, to give it some strength. He's like a hind let loose. A hind's a wild deer, a wild creature of the forest, one that is clean. Let loose has no authority over him. Running wild, you might say. And he gives goodly words. Goodly words are basically, that's the way God made everybody. 22. Joseph is a fruitful vine by a fountain. Its branches run over the wall. Joseph, that one that's going to add to, he's a fruitful vine. We'll find out 2 of the tribes come from him. A fruitful vine is a branch, actually, we'll find out that's going to give off or grow. It's a fruitful vine by a fountain. That's in a place that's going to nourish it. The fountains where the waters come out. His roots go down into them waters or down into them understandings. And its branches run over the wall. A wall's a place to use to separate. That's what the purpose of a wall is, to separate, to enclose, or to keep in or to keep out, one of the two. But the branches, and that's those sprouts that come forth from him, they go over the wall. They go beyond that place that divides. They go beyond that place that restricts or holds back or keeps out or keeps in. 23. The archers have dealt bitterly with him, and they shot at him and hated him. The archers are the ones that bend the bow. They shoot forth arrows. Arrows are like little truths that go out. They have a target. They got it's meant to destroy. Not always are these arrows good. And they've dealt bitterly with him. They haven't liked him. In other words, they spoke harshly against him. They shot their arrows trying to kill him because they've hated him and tried to bring him down. 24. But his bow abode firm, and the arms of his hands were made supple by the hands of the mighty one of Yaakov. From the shepherd, the stone of Israel. But his bow abode firm. He kept those things which he bends in strength, and we'll find out that is to show that the Lord's always in control of everything. The arms of his hands were made supple. The strengths of his works were made. This word supple, don't quite do it. They were made strong. The word is pasat, and it means to be solid, to be refined, made muscular, made strong, and given extra strength, you might say, of the mighty one of Yaakov, that is Hashem. That's the one that was ruled over and watched over the supplanter. And it's from there, from the shepherd, that's what Yosef represented, was that shepherd, the one that was watching over. He was going to add to, we'll find out, the flock, the stone of Israel. And that's that which is going to be made firm. That's that which is solid of Israel. That's those that contend or with the mighty one. 25. Even by the God of your father, who shall help you, and by the Almighty, who shall bless you, with blessings of heaven above, blessings of the deep that couches beneath, blessings of the breast and of the womb. Even by the God of your father, that's the Elohim, the El Shaddai, the Almighty of your father. That's the one whom he come forth from. Who shall help you? The Almighty, by the Almighty, who shall bless you with blessings of heaven. That's the higher understandings, all the knowledge above. The blessings of the deep that couches beneath, and all the understandings of the darkness that are below. Blessings of the breast, that which nurses. You might say that it stands for the nourishment that comes from the flesh. You might and of the womb, because that's when the womb is where you're born from, and that when you're born, that you have to have that place to be nourished. 26. The blessings of your father are mighty, beyond the blessings of my progenitors. Under the utmost bound of the everlasting hills, they shall be on the head of Joseph, and on the crown of the head of the prince among his brethren. And the blessings of your father, these are the good tidings going forth, are mighty beyond those tidings of my progenitors, all those that have come before, to the utmost bound of the everlasting hills, unto the utmost boundaries, to the furthest points of the everlasting hills, all these things that are lifted up. They shall be on the head of Joseph. The head is to be on the control or on the understanding, and we'll see as a crown of the head of the prince. And he wears it like a crown. This understanding that creates this prince among his brethren. A prince is just simply one that's lifted up, you might say, or taken notice of, one who has a special place among his brethren. That's those of a similar understanding. 27. Ben-Amin is a wolf that raveneth. In the morning he devours the prey, and at evening he divides the spoil. But Ben-Amin, the son of my right hand, is a wolf that raveneth. The wolf is always is this, even though it means yellow, it kind of be that light color. We'll find out that's when he likes to attack early in the morning. The wolf is a kind of a creature of darkness, a mystic creature. It's horrible among the kingdom, but find out to its own young, it's not in that, wouldn't be viewed as a horrible thing. But in the morning he devours the prey early, in the when the understanding is coming forth, he devours or destroys the prey, that which they feed upon, and at evening he divides the spoil, or he separates that out to each pup. 28. All these are the 12 tribes of Israel, and this is that their father spoke unto them and blessed them, everyone according to his blessing, he blessed them. And all these are the 12 tribes of Israel. Well, these are the 12 sons of Israel. Manasseh and Ephraim wasn't included here because that becomes Joseph. We'll find out. There's a few things that'll happen before they come the tribes of Israel. That's those that contend with the mighty one, those also that contend with men. And it would be just as their father would speak unto them, and he blessed them. That's to get the positive from that. Everyone according to his blessing, he blessed them. 29, he charged them, said unto them, I am to be gathered unto my people, bury me with my fathers in the cave that is in the field of Ephron, the Hittite, or the Hittite. And he charged them, or he tells them, he says unto them, I am to be gathered, I'm getting ready to die. I'm gathered unto my people, I'm going to go where everyone else goes. Bury me with my fathers. Put me there. We'll find out. Abraham had purchased a place to put away his dead. And it's that cave that's in the field of Ephron. A cave is a hole in the ground. It's in the field. That's the open land of Ephron. Ephron means fawn-like in a sense of the dusty. That dust. Or the appearance of dust. That's the ground. The Hittite, and that's those that come forth from Terah, the sons of Heth. 30. In the cave that is in the field of Machpelah, which is before Mamre, in the land of Canaan, which Abraham bought with the field from Ephron, the Hittite, for a possession of a burying place. And it's the cave, that's that hole in the ground that's in the field, the open land of Machpelah, that's folded, doubled up, kind of like a place to repeat. You can bury over and over, maybe. It's a hole. It's the one before Mamre. Mamre means vigor, strength. One that hoped for greatly, you might say, in the land of Canaan. That's that place of humility, which Abraham, the father of many nations, bought the field. That's that open land from Ephron to Hittite. That's those that come forth from Terah. Ephron, once again, is the dust. That's what everybody was created from. It was for a possession, for a burying place. 31. There they buried Abraham and Sarah, his wife. There they buried Ishmael and Rebekah, his wife, and there I buried Leah. They buried Abraham and Sarah there. Abraham was the father of many nations, and Sarah, she was the princess of princesses. That was the reflection of his understanding. Ishmael was the one that laughs. Rebekah's that one that's restrained by beauty. In a sense, that would be the reflection of Ishmael's understanding, and that's where Leah was buried as well. That's the weariness. That was the reflection of the understanding of Yaakov. 32, the field and the cave that is therein, which was purchased from the children of Heth. And the field, that's the open land, and the cave, that's the hole that's there in the ground. Now, all these things were purchased from the children of Heth, and that's from those that come forth from Terah. That's the place that was purchased there, that place for burying the dead. 33, and when Yaakov made an end of charging his sons, he gathered up his feet into the bed and expired, and was gathered unto his people. And after Yaakov makes an end, he's the supplanter of charging his sons, of telling him these things, of where they was going to bury him. He gathers up his feet into the bed. And to gather up your feet into the bed means simply to take your paths. That's what you've been traveling on all your life, your feet, and pull them up into the place of rest, and give up that ghost. to exhale and expire, and there he was gathered unto his people. We're going to move forward to Genesis chapter 50. Turn, return.